Alex Eala set to make history in French Open debut. Just days after turning 20, Alex Eala marks another milestone as the first Filipino tennis player in the Open era, male or female, to play in the singles main draw of a Grand Slam. History will be made on Sunday, May 25, when Alex Eala hits her first left-handed forehand drive on the hallowed red clay court of Roland-Garros. Eala will see action in the main draw of the 2025 French Open in Paris, France, when she faces Emiliana Arango of Colombia in the opening round. Her debut in the second Grand Slam event of the season will make Eala the first Filipino tennis player, male or female, to ever play in the singles main draw of a Grand Slam event in the Open era. The Tennis Open era refers to the time after 1968, when amateurs and professional players were finally allowed to compete against each other, effectively ending the distinction between pros and amateurs in tennis. Today's modern tennis is part of the Open era. Eala will be up against world number 88 Emiliana Arango of Colombia in the opening round, and for the first time in a WTA event, the Filipino will face an opponent who does not outrank her. This, though, does not in any way mean it will be smooth sailing for the world number 69 Filipina when she makes her Grand Slam debut. Turning 20 years old just this May 23, Eala needs to bring her A game against an opponent who not only has had a pretty solid season thus far, but has shown in the past the ability to come back from adversity. As an unseeded player, Arango bagged the title of the WTA 125 Cancun Tennis Open in Mexico last February. She followed this up with another impressive showing in her next tournament. She won 2 qualifying matches to reach the main draw of the WTA 500 Mérida Akron Open in Yucatan, Mexico, then made it all the way to the finals where she lost in straight sets to world number 9, Emma Navarro of the United States. Arango's outstanding February showing earned for her a new career-high world ranking of 79th by March of this year. The 24-year-old Arango is a known clay court specialist whose style of play is characterized by aggressive baseline play, but she has also shown that she is not afraid to approach the net and vary her attack. She is also known for her mental strength and poise that have been key in her wins and her ability to come back from injuries. The Colombian is not known as a big server. This plays into Eala's penchant for pouncing on opponents' serves by hitting it powerfully on the rise, setting the tone of the rallies. Eala will need to keep the ball in play and push Arango on the defensive by forcing her to move from side to side and scramble for returns. The winner of the Eala-Arango tussle will move on to the second round, where she would face either world number 8 Qinwen Zhang of China or former world number 11 and 2021 French Open runner-up Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova of Russia. Philippine tennis legends. Before Eala, legendary Filipino players Felicissimo Ampon, Raymundo Darro, Johnny Josie, Cesar Carmona, and Guillermo Willie Hernandez all played in numerous Grand Slam singles events before the Open era. The Mighty Might, Ampon made the quarterfinals of the French Open in 1952 and 1953. This remains the best finish by any Filipino in a Grand Slam singles event. Largely considered the greatest Filipino tennis player of all time, Ampon likewise reached the 4th round of the U.S. Open 4 times, 1948 to 1950, 1952, and the 3rd round of Wimbledon thrice, 1949, 1950, 1953. Darro advanced to the 4th round of the French Open in 1951 and 1953. He also made it all the way to the 3rd round of the U.S. Open, 1946, 1955, and Wimbledon, 1948, 1953. The other Filipinos who played in a Grand Slam singles events prior to the Open era were Josie, 1955 U.S. Open first round, Carmona, 1946 U.S. Open second round, 1950 and 1951 French Open second round, 1950 Wimbledon third round, and Hernandez, 1959 Australian Open second round, 1961 U.S. Open second round, 1962 Wimbledon second round. The last time a player with Filipino roots played in the singles main draw of a Grand Slam in the Open era was 21 years ago. Former Philippine team stalwart Cecil Mami saw action in the 2004 Australian Open men's singles when he lost in straight sets in the first round to former world number 1 Lakeman Hewitt. However, Mami was still representing the United States during those years. He transferred federations and started representing the Philippines during the 2005 Southeast Asian Games in Manila. Mami played in the main draw of all the 4 Grand Slam events, reaching the second round of the Australian Open, 1999, 2001, the French Open, 2001, 2002, and the U.S. Open, 1999. Another former Philippine team member, Eric Taino, played in the U.S. Open men's singles main draw in 2001 and 2002. But he too was still representing the United States in those years and switched to the Philippine Federation in 2005 with Mami. The best finish by a Filipino in a Grand Slam event was achieved by doubles specialist and longtime Philippine team player Tree Huey. Partnering with Max Mirny of Belarus, the pair reached the men's doubles semifinals of Wimbledon in 2016. The recently retired Huey also reached the men's doubles quarterfinals of the U.S. Open in 2013 and the Australian Open in 2014 and 2016. Eala is now in a position to make more history in the French Open. A victory in the singles opening round will be unprecedented and will already match Mami's best Grand Slam finish. Eala is also set to join the women's doubles event with Renata Zarazua of Mexico as her partner. This will make her the first Filipina to play in the women's doubles competition of a Grand Slam event.